Okay, where was I? Right, I got distracted. Let me get back to what I was actually thinking about. Where were we again? I think I was trying to figure out what I should focus on first today. I lost the thread for a second. Anyway, my point was that I need to stop jumping between things. Right, I got sidetracked. What was I doing before that thought pulled me away? Where was I going with this? Oh, yeah, trying to decide the next step instead of overthinking everything. Okay, let's get back on track. I was in the middle of sorting out what actually matters right now. Where were we? I remember I was trying to slow down and think things through properly. I drifted off again. Let me come back to the main idea I was working on. Where was I? Right, I was supposed to be figuring out what needs my attention most urgently. Anyway, I got a bit lost there. The point I was making is I need more focus. Where were we again? I think I was trying to organize my thoughts before everything scattered. Okay, I lost my train of thought. Let me reconnect to what I was just thinking. Right, I got distracted. I was in the middle of deciding what the priority is. Where was I going with this? I think I was questioning whether I'm overcomplicating things. Back to it. I was trying to stop myself from bouncing between too many ideas. Where were we? Oh, right. I was thinking about what actually needs to get done first. I spaced out for a second. Anyway, the main idea was to simplify things. Where was I? I was trying to stay focused, but my thoughts wandered off again. Okay, I got sidetracked. Let me return to the point I was building up to. Where were we again? Right, I was trying to figure out the next clear step.
I digressed for a moment, but let me get back to what I was actually thinking about. I went off the track there. Anyway, my point was I need to stay more focused. I got off track again, but I was trying to figure out what I should prioritize next. I digressed a bit just now, so let me reconnect to the main idea. I went off the track without noticing. Okay, back to what I was originally thinking. I got off track there, but I was in the middle of organizing my thoughts. I digressed for a second. Right, I was trying to decide what actually matters right now. I went off the track again, but the main point was I need to simplify things. I got off track mid-thought, so let me rewind and continue from there. I digressed, but now I'm getting back to the idea I was building up to.
Okay, what was I supposed to do next? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Let me think for a second. What's the next thing I need to take care of? All right, I've done that part. Now what should I focus on? I should probably check my messages first, and then figure out what needs to be done after that. Wait, wasn't there something important I was supposed to do today? Maybe I should slow down for a minute and think about what actually matters right now. Okay, so what's the priority here? What needs my attention the most? I feel like I'm jumping from one thing to another, so I should probably organize my thoughts first. Before I start anything else, I should ask myself what I'm actually trying to accomplish. All right, let me mentally go through my day and see if I missed anything. Why do I feel a little off today? Maybe I just need a short break. Am I actually tired? Or am I just avoiding something? Maybe I'm overthinking this. It probably isn't as serious as it feels right now. Okay, let me not make this bigger than it needs to be. What am I really worried about here? Is this something I need to deal with now? Or can it wait? Maybe I should give myself a minute before I react. I don't have to figure everything out right now. Am I being fair to myself? Or am I being too hard on myself again? What would
actually make me feel better right now? Maybe I just need to get out of my head for a bit. Okay, what's the simplest thing I can do from here? I feel like I need some space to think clearly. Why did that bother me so much? There must be a reason. Maybe I'm not upset about this exact thing. Maybe it just reminded me of something else. I should probably stop replaying that conversation in my head. Was that awkward, or am I just overanalyzing it? I need to remind myself that one small moment doesn't define the whole day. Maybe I should just let this go instead of carrying it around all day. All right, breathe for a second. I can handle this. Okay, before I distract myself again, what was I in the middle of doing? I had a point a second ago. Where was I going with that? Maybe I'm expecting myself to have everything figured out too quickly. Wait, I got sidetracked. What was I actually trying to think through? I should probably deal with the small thing now before it turns into a bigger problem later. Why am I hesitating so much if I already know what needs to happen? All right, focus. What's the main thing I was trying to sort out? Maybe the hardest part is just getting started. I keep waiting to feel ready, but maybe I just need to begin anyway. What's one thing I can finish today that would make tomorrow easier?
I drifted off again. Let me get back to what actually matters here. I don't need a perfect plan right now. I just need a direction. Maybe I've been mentally exhausted for longer than I realized. Hold on, my mind wandered again. What was the original point? I should check whether I'm actually stressed or just mentally overloaded. Why does everything feel urgent all at once when it probably isn't? Okay, let's get back on track. What was I trying to decide? Maybe I need to stop assuming the worst before anything has even happened. I've been putting this off for days, and it's probably taking more energy to avoid it. Wait, I started thinking about something completely different again. Okay, if I stop worrying about doing it perfectly, this might feel a lot easier. Maybe I'm trying to solve 5 different problems at the same time again. Let me rewind for a second, because I definitely lost my train of thought. I should focus on what's actually in front of me instead of every possible outcome. What would the calmer version of me do in this situation? All right, what was the important part before my brain wandered off again? Maybe I need to separate what's real from what I'm just imagining. I think I need a reset before I keep pushing myself through the rest of the day. I got distracted by everything around me again. Let me refocus. All right, one thing at a time. I'll figure out the rest as I go. Where was I? Right. I was thinking about what I should focus on next before I got distracted again. Where were we? I think we were trying to figure out the most important thing to deal with today. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, I was trying to decide whether this actually needs my attention right now. Where were we again? I remember I was breaking down what I should do step by step. Where was I? Okay, I was in the middle of figuring out my next move before my thoughts drifted off. Where were we? Right, I was trying to organize everything so it doesn't feel so chaotic. Where was I going? I think I was questioning whether I'm overthinking this whole thing. Where were we? Yeah, I was trying to get back to the main point instead of chasing every side thought. Where was I? Okay, I was supposed to be deciding what actually matters most right now. Where were we again? Right, I was trying to stay on track and not lose the thread of this thought.